family has very southern roots, like in Kentucky and
I knew I married a colonizer.
West. See, there we go. There we have.
I walked into this hotel in South Dakota, and they're like, "Are you?" He looks at my ID and it says Patel. He's like, "Are you the owner?" I'm like, "If I was the owner, would I be checking in?"
You should have said,
like,
"Yes,
what are
it's
you talking
me."
about?
That's one thing that people do here a lot: ride horses. A lot.
Wow, who would have freaking thought? My goodness.
That's true. I was a horse girl, everybody.
The Midwest does have some of the best parks.
It's flat here, so we don't have to deal with that crazy elevation.
We got some pretty good parks. I would love to see Hallie grow up in India and just put her in that environment. I wonder what you would be like today.
I don't know. I really don't know.
This week, Hallie and I are going to be talking about our differences growing up in the Midwest, because we had very different experiences here. We're also going to be talking about Indiana and why people live here. It's a flyover state, so why would you want to do that? Let's get into this Half Past crew. Welcome to
Half Past Cha.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Half Past Cha, where we spill all the cha. My name is Suketu.
My name is Hallie.
And if you can't already tell, we're a married interracial couple, because I'm Indian.
I'm super duper white.
And that's what we talk about. We talk about being an interracial couple. We talk about some of our differences and our similarities. We also get questions from you because you guys go to www.halfpastcha.com, where you submit your own questions and stories. We thank you for doing that. We release new podcast episodes every Monday at 7 a.m. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and if you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us 5 stars and follow the podcast, because you want to be notified at 7 a.m. on every Monday when we post. So settle in, get cozy, and grab your cha. All right, everybody.
Toast. Cheers.
We're going to be
to
talking
the
about
Monday.
the Midwest today.
Specifically Indiana. But you guys, all right. We have, I would say, a large following of people from the Midwest. And you might not exactly know what all the Midwest is made up of. The Midwest is made up of more than just Indiana, and we're going to get into that. But first, I really just kind of want to compare and contrast some things, okay? Obviously, this podcast, I'm really white. He's Indian, all right? So we talk about our similarities and differences, and we're going to be highlighting those today because we're going to be talking about just how different our experiences have been here in the Midwest, as me being me, who's lived here my whole life. My parents grew up here, and you being you, and your parents did not grow up here. They came here later in their life.
I would love to see Hallie grow up in India, see what would happen. Just take her there, just bring her there at 6 years old, and just put her in that environment. I wonder what you would be like today.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Just take an Indian kid at 4 or 5 years old and just put him in this sea of white people, and
welcome.
Just was hey, make it work. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of crazy because even though you have lived here a majority of your life, I think it has to do with your parents obviously didn't grow up here either. Like mine, very used to Midwest, U.S., Indiana things. Okay. So, for example, going to church every Sunday, right? Also, me just playing sports, doing all those things, doing the normal things, driving everywhere because it's not a walkable place. You kind of get where I'm going at here. Your experience was very different. And again, we'll talk about more of those specifics here in a minute. But we just had very unique experiences. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, whether they've come here, if they didn't always live in the U.S., they'll really value what you have to say. Or people that have lived here their whole lives and been like, yep, that sounds about right. There's not a whole lot to do here, unfortunately, in Indiana. And we really kind of realized this. We were at a wedding. And somebody had mentioned, when you live in Indiana, you can really only do this, and that's about it. And we were like, oh my God, we need to make a podcast about that.
Yeah, I didn't realize how little there was to do here until I started traveling. Yes. But I guess to give perspective, what is the difference of living in the Midwest versus East Coast or the South or the West? What's the difference?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because while it's hard for me to pinpoint just one, I mean, it's not confined to anyone, right? There are so many differences for East, West, in the South. I mean, there are so many things that make Indiana what it is. And I like that you said that because until we started traveling different places, I just thought this was it.
Yeah.
I thought every state was like that. And that's such a narrow way of thinking. I had no idea. I had no idea what else is out there, especially in different countries as well. This is just an episode about traveling and different perspectives. But like Indiana is literally smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, I think
of everything.
if I had to give an answer on that, the West Coast, I feel like is a lot more chill, relaxed. I mean, maybe not Seattle because I haven't been there, but everywhere else in the West that I've seen, it's just a lot more relaxed. East Coast, people are just a lot more busy. There's just a lot more
Hustle
to do
focused. Yeah.
on that side, and not just New York, but like even North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. Like people are always doing something. I feel like it's a way different environment. Here, the things I see is that people are in their house pretty often. If they're not in their house, they're at TJ Maxx. If they're not at TJ Maxx, they're probably at Target or Home Goods.
Or Taco Bell.
So that's the kind of environment the Midwest is, because there's really nothing else you can do. You can go to maybe Topgolf once a year, but
that's enough. You only need to go once a year.
That's about it. Maybe go into the city to see some Christmas lights.
Yeah, that's also once a year, pretty much.
And
you see, you're even having a hard time thinking about like what else there is to do here. Because going back to the question that you asked me, I think so much of it has to do with one, climate. It's cold here half the year, like it's freezing. I mean, today it's like rainy and disgusting outside. So it's like, what am I gonna do? Go run? I mean, luckily there's like parks and trails and stuff. When it's nice, you can be outside.
Hey, the Midwest does have some of the best like parks.
It's flat here, so we don't have to deal with that crazy elevation.
We got some pretty good parks.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
We don't have like any national parks, but hey, we got the cute little local ones. Yeah. We got Turkey Run State Park.
Yep.
Grew up going there.
There's a lot. There's just a lot of parks.
So with that, I kind of want to jump into each of our individual experiences. And I just have a few things that I want to specifically talk about that really kind of define my experience growing up here in Indiana. So if you think about Indiana, there's Indianapolis right in the center. Okay, I grew up on the west side of Indianapolis, and so did you. With that, one of the biggest things that I would do in my free time was, one, go outside when it was nice weather, because in summers, it's decent. It's since gotten worse. It's usually really, really hot here in summer. It's like you don't want to go outside during the day in the months of July and August, especially. Very, 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 very hot times. I went to TJ Maxx. Is that a Midwest only thing? No, I feel like that's like
that's the entire United States.
Okay.
We went to TJ Maxx in Hawaii.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah. Went to TJ Maxx a lot. Bath and Body Works. Target.
Don't go to Bath and Body. They sell poisonous items.
Didn't somebody like pee in a candle or something?
I don't think it's good.
Well, like I know candles aren't good to burn, especially if you have pets, because it's really strong, as I'm burning a candle right now. Sylvie, I'm sorry. She's sleeping. She literally couldn't care less. I went to TJ Maxx a lot. Did some shopping with my mom. Target. Kroger. That's a Midwest thing.
Yeah, Kroger's definitely Midwest.
Because what do other states have? Like the East Coast has
Publix.
No, that's like, I know that's a Florida thing. Is that an everywhere thing?
They have Ralph's on the other side.
Ralph's.
They have Publix on the east side.
Yes. Yep. Okay, so we've got Kroger, and don't get it twisted, it's not Kroger's, it's Kroger. I think Meijer is only a Midwest thing too.
Yeah, it is.
Kroger and Meijer. Big grocery store. If you want to go get better coupons, you go to Kroger. If you want more worldly foods, you go to Meijer. That's fun. You're just looking at me with a blank face.
Because I just can't. I can't. This is crazy that we're even talking about
Suketu's like,
this.
oh my God, this is so boring.
This is insane.
I can't believe this is our life. Grew up going to pretty Midwest stores. I rode horses. That's one thing that people do here a lot. Ride horses. A lot.
Wow. Who would have freaking thought? Horses. My goodness.
That's true. I was a horse girl, everybody. I look back on some of that and cringe because I even did horse shows. Oh my gosh. I did the 4-H fair. All right. Did that for quite some time. And I juggled that between sports. So I would do horseback riding sports. I really kind of got out of the horseback riding once I started doing sports. Some of those include basketball. Indiana is a big basketball state, if you didn't know. Volleyball. I played some soccer. Gymnastics. I mean, you can do those in any state.
Moving on.
It sounds so boring.
This is
Like as I'm
the-
saying it, I'm like, oh my God, that's what I mean, but like it was good. It was good. Last but not least, again, you just go to church every Sunday. I feel like that's more like a Midwest thing, like a family oriented thing. Go to church, get some good breakfast and bagels after. That was
like
what I did.
Worldwide thing.
It is. But I'm saying that, I don't know, like
It's
there's
known
always,
for that.
well,
here.
yeah, because I'm thinking
There's
specifically.
a church every mile.
Yeah.
Here.
I'm thinking specifically like Midwest hospitality.
Yeah.
Like apparently people here are just nicer.
That's true.
I would say so. I don't know. I've been to other states and people aren't as nice.
People say sorry a lot here, just like Canada. Maybe it's because we're close to Canada.
Sorry. They got maple syrup.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry. No, that was aggressive.
My turn. I grew up in the Midwest as well.
Yeah.
Started here around 4 years old, and it was great. It was fantastic. Got to meet a lot of cool people. I met my first two best friends are now in prison. If you didn't know, it's pretty crazy.
For what?
One of them like attempted murder, and the other one's like something else. I don't know. But anyways,
Okay.
I found this out because I saw a little Post-it thing about these people because they still live in my parents' neighborhood, right? So it's like, anyways. It's pretty crazy that that's the kind of people I grew up with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other
Felons.
yeah, felons.
Yeah.
And then I went to school, went to temple here. It was a nice little temple, and we didn't go every Sunday, but we went when we could,
Mhm.
And then Patel Brothers, fantastic place. Taco Bell, we got playing outside, and we got Gerba.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
We didn't do much besides that. And everybody always asks, like, what about, like, didn't you go out to, like, eat? Nope. Just Taco Bell or McDonald's.
Or an Indian restaurant. Yeah.
We didn't eat out often because my mom had a schedule of eating food. We had to eat at this time and it had to be her food. So that's what we had to do.
Well, I want to go back a little bit to both of us saying that we went to church, we went to temple. Majority of people in the Midwest are either Christian or Catholic. How large of a Hindu population do you think there is?
It's pretty big. I'd say it's pretty big.
But like even back in the day, I'm talking about growing up.
Not growing up. I don't think it was as big, of course, because there weren't like the mass migration that's going on. It's going on now. I feel like there's a lot more Indians, because there's just a lot more. I think the education side of things nowadays is a little more refined, so there's just a lot more opportunity for international students compared to normal, which is nice, which is good. And so there's a lot more of an Indian community here. But when I was growing up, no, it wasn't like crazy. That's the other thing. It's like I only had like white friends.
Yeah.
I didn't really have Indian friends. And I was always like, why don't I have Indian friends? And I'm not sure why, because my sisters had Indian friends. And I think it's because they started off in like high school / college. Like when they moved here, they're older than me, a lot older than me. And so they kind of got that experience of, they got to meet people in clubs and groups that they were a part of in college or high school, whatever it may be. And I think that solidified their relationship with their friends who were Indian because they were part of the South Asian community or they were part of the Ross team or whatever it may be. So they got those people to be like, they got friends that were Indian. So they had that community. Whereas me, I started off young in a area that didn't have, like I'm not going to start a club in kindergarten, everybody. Sorry about that.
In
but
a
like,
very predominantly white area.
yeah, there would have been like one or two of us. So it wouldn't have worked out very well. But I think, yeah, it was way different. And I wonder what it would have been like if I came to America now and see the population now. It's different. I mean, half of the school now that I used to go to is Indian.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many Indian people at the high school that I used to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, how different would my friend group, different would I have been in general? How different would my, just like everything have been? Like, because my entire friend group was not Indian. So like my whole, I feel like it changed my identity in a way.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like the biggest thing that I'm wondering is because, okay, one thing I want to point out is you have a lot more Indian friends now than you did back when you were younger. Like through college, you met so many of your current friends.
College can change your life.
Yeah.
Not in terms of education, maybe in education, but in terms of your friends, like you meet so many people from all around the world in college because it's a place that you meet international students, you meet people from out of state, you meet all kinds of people. So like it can definitely change your entire friend group. That's why a lot of people don't hang out with their high school friends anymore, because they meet all their friends in college.
Well, I would say too that the school that we went to specifically had a really big population of international students. And like you met so many of your friends, like lifelong friends from that college experience.
Which is pretty crazy.
So I think it's just what you were saying about your sisters being older when they moved here. I don't know. Maybe this is just me thinking, but you came here at such a young age with such a, like in primary school where there weren't a lot of other Indian kids. It was just white kids, right? But like, again, they came here maybe in like high school or college where there is more population because people come from out of the country, out of the state, whatever, to come to colleges. You don't do that for grade school. Do you get what
I get what you're saying. I get. There's a lot less babies coming over. There's a lot more people in 10th, 11th college coming over.
Specifically college.
Yeah. Because I remember when I was in like 11th or 10th grade, that's when I started, like people were moving over from India and I started seeing more and more Indian kids. And then I was like, oh my God, hey, what's up? You're just like me. Let's be friends.
You're just like me. That's it. You're just like me. We're going to be best friends now. Yeah, no, you definitely got more non-white friends. For sure, after high school. So I would say it's definitely, but then you look at different states, right? Like Indiana, definitely majority white, but then there are so many other states where there's such a larger population. Like we've mentioned New Jersey before.
New Jersey,
they're like booming. Level. Yeah.
That's New Jersey is no longer a part of the United States, honey. New Jersey is a part of the Indian continent. No, it's not a continent. It should be its own continent at this point, but yeah, it's pretty much India number 2. That's seriously, like, there's that many Indian people.
What are like the 2 most Indian populated states? Definitely New Jersey.
It's gotta be New Jersey. It's gotta be maybe Pennsylvania. Like that coast area has to be that coast area because that's where people fly and they just stay there.
What?
It's just true. It's facts. That's just what happens. But I would say those 2.
Not as many people come to Indiana.
No.
Like if they.
Why would you come to Indiana?
Well, that's a great question. That is what I'm asking. Yeah.
Why would you come to Indiana?
Why would you come to Indiana?
Do you have a few favorite things of Indiana that you want to mention to the people of the world?
I do. Yeah. Some of our favorite things about Indiana, or, I guess our favorite things about Indiana. It's a great place to start a family, you guys. It's affordable. You really get most bang for your buck here, I would say. I mean, if you look at real estate, prices here are much more reasonable than a place like, for example, California, New York. Those places are so expensive. I mean, like our house here, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine how much it would cost in one of those states. And groceries, of course. Are you looking up some
Yeah, I looked up the stats of what Hallie asked me about Indian people in the States. Holy mother of God. Indian Americans make up 20% of California.
California's big.
That's a lot. I forgot about Silicon Valley. Half the freaking Silicon Valley is Indian people, which is insane. And then I forgot.
California's a big place too.
Texas is number 2 at 12% American Indians.
Texas.
New Jersey is only 9% American Indian.
Really? Is this recent?
This is recent. This is insane.
That's interesting.
And then New York makes up 7%.
Indiana's not on there?
No. Are you kidding me?
That's interesting.
Why would Indiana, of all places, be on here?
I don't know. It has the word India in it. That was a really stupid assumption to make.
That's insane. I'm actually very shocked. I'm very shocked. Okay.
That's wild. Thank you for looking that up.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
okay, what were you saying about what you like about Indiana?
Well, first I said it's a great place to start a family.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'll get more into that in a second. It's affordable. You really get the most bang for your buck here. Would you agree?
Yeah. Pretty safe.
Yeah, it's very safe. We got the Monon. You don't know what the Monon is. It's a huge trail that goes all across Indiana that you can bike, run, walk, rollerblade, skateboard for miles.
We got a lot of trails.
Yeah, we got a lot of trails. It's basically connected through all of Indiana. That's like the one flex that we have. And there's not that many people. Like Indiana's big, but it's not the biggest state in the Midwest. Like we got Ohio next to us. Ohio, Illinois are both massive. Indiana's not as big, which is kind of nice. So things aren't like crazy populated all the time.
Yeah. And I would say our least favorite things. There's a list, everyone.
Not walkable.
It is not walkable.
Not at all. Not a lick.
The Midwest mentality is way different. It's like,
oh my gosh,
get married, have kids, work your job. All right.
And that's it. That's it. Like the only reason I say that is because I've seen so many TikToks now, and I even made one based off of the Midwest mentality is that it's not, okay, I don't want to say this because it's not always true, but it's not really like a chase your passions kind of place, chase your talents kind of place, okay? Because there are a lot of other states, like for example, California and New York, which I've already mentioned, that mindset is much more common in people, in entrepreneurs, in self-starters, in people who have their own businesses, yada, yada, yada. You don't really find a lot of specifically people that do what we do in content creation.
There's no venture capitalists in freaking Indiana. No one's going to invest in your company here. I mean, you will. You might get $1,000 invested some here and there and 10,000 maybe there. But if you go to California, if you go to New York, people are going to, like, if you have a really good idea product that you want to sell, people are going to invest millions and millions of dollars into you to be able to create something because they believe in you and they understand the entrepreneurship of that region.
Yeah.
And there's just not that kind of commitment here.
I'm not saying that it can't be done. It's just not really been done yet.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
It's so dang cold all the time.
Yeah, it's freezing.
The food scene, abysmal.
Yeah, the food scene is not fantastic.
It's getting
here.
better.
Even in Columbus, Ohio, they have a pretty good food scene. They have really good, diverse food. We just have a lot of like typical American restaurants here in Indiana. I mean, again, you grew up eating Taco Bell. We got Taco Bell. Taco Bell's good. And that's about it.
We say there's not much to do, but there is
a
little bit to do here, okay? It's not like, oh, there's nothing to do. We can't do anything tonight. There is. You can go over to each other's houses.
Yeah. Friendship, family.
You can go to outside, walk around the stores, go to Menards maybe, pick up a few tools at Lowe's. Who knows? There's endless amount of things you can do, okay? The last one are when you visit other places, it feels like a vacation because it's not like Indiana. So that's nice.
Oh, another one I just thought of is we don't have public transportation here. Like Indianapolis, you got city buses. We don't have
Don't go into
trains.
those.
Yeah. Don't do those.
You care about your life.
They're just not great set up. It's not a great system we have going on. But like I'm thinking specifically today, we're in our house in the suburbs, all right? Maybe that also has something to do with it. We don't live in the city, but even like Indianapolis, the greater Indianapolis area, okay, it's not like incredible just yet, but it's getting, I do too.
It's fantastic.
It is. It's homey. It's cozy. That's the issue.
But I love it.
But like on a day like today, for example, it's gloomy, nice. It's cloudy, it's rainy. We've sat in our house and done nothing.
We've already mentioned this part, but I gotta say the one thing I absolutely can't be more thankful for is the affordability of Indiana.
Yes.
You can live here on almost anything because it's just way easier.
It is.
When it comes to access to things, like even healthcare, and the hospital systems are great here. That's about it. I'm sorry. I'm trying my hardest here, but that's it. All right. If you want good services, it's pretty good here. If you want affordable housing. It's pretty good here. But that's about it. I don't have anything else to say about Indiana or the Midwest.
Nothing. No final closeouts about your experience growing up here.
If you live in the Midwest, I want to know if you agree with us. If you don't live in the Midwest, I want to know why you live where you live and what you love and hate about it.
See, okay, as you were saying that, it just has me thinking this is our younger mindset. Okay, maybe when we're older, things will be different.
Love it here. Are you kidding me? When we're old,
yeah,
Indiana's gonna be the best thing that ever happened to us.
But see, again, I want to go back because I said something, and it's so true that the place that you live in really kind of defines who you are as a person. And Indiana is, I just don't think that's who we are right now. A place more booming, that's more in our industry, that's who we are right now. I think the place that you live defines you, and it really helps. It can really make or break some of the ambitions that you have in your life. Like, again, love Indiana. It's a great place. However, for the stuff that we're interested in right now, at this moment in time, it's not always the best place, okay? And I'm not putting Indiana down. I've loved it here my whole life. I've been here my whole life. And it's funny to me because I know people now who've moved from like different states and they're coming to Indiana and they're like, this is a thing? Or like specifically a couple of people that we're friends with, they moved from a warm state and they came here and they're like, I have to put this many layers of clothes on to take my dog outside. It's so cold. Like, yeah, it's freezing. Not that the weather is individualistic to individualized. What's the word I'm thinking of? My brain doesn't work today. Not that that's solely an Indiana thing, that it's cold. It's colder in other places too, but Indiana has a lot of unique experiences. We had different experiences growing up because my parents grew up here as well. We did traditional Indiana things, Midwest things, and then you as well.
But it makes me think like what our lives would have been in Chicago, for example. That's still the Midwest.
Yeah.
But it's New York number 2, you know? That's what it is.
Chicago's pretty big, yeah.
And so like it makes me wonder, like, even though that's in the Midwest, would we have different experiences there?
Think about that.
So
I would venture to say yes. But again, we live in the suburbs. Yeah. So I think that has all to do with it. I don't know what it would be like if we grew up in Indianapolis. I don't know. I have no idea. I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know because we didn't grow up in anything but the suburbs. So with that, there are a lot of states that you might not know about that are part of the Midwest. Okay. And I didn't know this either till I looked it up in ChatGPT. Midwest is made up of Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Ohio, and Wisconsin.
You know what's crazy? I've been to every single one of these states except Nebraska.
Are they all similar to Indiana vibes?
They're actually way worse than Indiana.
So Indiana's better.
Let's talk about that. Illinois, absolutely the worst state you can live in financially. Good luck if you're going to live in Illinois. It's
expensive.
It's got the most insane taxes ever in any state. It's like more expensive it's just as expensive as California, which is insane when it comes to taxes. Indiana, I think Indiana's fine compared to all these. Iowa, it's beautiful in terms of scenery, but it's very spread out. Like you can't do anything. Kansas, I think Kansas is all right, but the middle of Kansas, nothing. There's nothing there. 3 hours in between each of the big cities, the Kansas City and St. Louis.
Kansas City.
So it's like Kansas City. There's nothing in between. Nothing at all. Michigan's all right. Michigan's okay. It's cold.
Yeah, it's really cold.
Minnesota, it's just a dead state to me. Every time I've gone to Minnesota, everything's just dead.
It's so in the winter. Do you mean? Yeah.
I mean, even during like the summer, like it's okay, but it's just everything just looks dead. I don't know.
Huh. I've never been. So I've been to the airport, but that doesn't count.
Missouri is all right.
St. Louis, they got the arch.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I can't talk about Nebraska because I've never been there. North Dakota and South Dakota, worst places in the world. Worst places.
Okay.
There's nothing there.
I've never been.
Don't go there. They're also they just look at me different.
Yeah, that is a fact.
That's going to leave it there. Wisconsin's fantastic, honestly. Wisconsin's got
cheese?
character.
They got cheese.
They got cheese. They got character.
Yeah.
I went there and it was
Wisconsin.
actually pretty nice.
I
not gonna
love
lie.
people with Wisconsin accents.
Maybe that's it. I love
Minnesota,
accents.
Wisconsin.
But yeah,
That's about it. That's all I know. What other words do people say that I don't know? Cheese. No, that sounds the same. Forget about that. Yeah. Yeah, but like to your point of you saying that certain states are the worst, like you said North Dakota and South Dakota.
Oh my God.
It's because you go in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I go nowhere.
And there's some interesting people, okay, that are like, "Oh, brown guy, what are you doing here? Hello."
I walked into this hotel in South Dakota, and they're like, "Are you?" He looked at my ID and it says Patel. He's like, "Are you the owner?" I'm like, "If I was the owner, would I be checking in?"
You should have said, "Yes,
what are you
it's
talking
me."
about? But and then he ended up, "Oh, you're the owner's son." I was like, "Yes, I
Bruh.
did say yes," and he did upgrade me. Hey,
Okay, literally act like, have you never seen somebody who's not white before? Hello?
I took advantage of the situation. So
But like everybody just assumes you're Patel. You know what I mean? Like they'll look at you and be like, "Oh, Patel."
well, this guy looked at my ID.
I know, but you've had other situations where people are like, "Oh, you're Patel, right?"
They just looked at me and
And
they're
you're
like,
like,
"Are you
sure."
related to this doctor?" I'm like, "Nope, sorry."
That is the number one question people ask you. Does that drive you crazy? It
No.
drives me crazy for you.
I think it's just been. I'm so used to it now. It's just like, yeah. And they're always like, this. This is what they always say. They're like, do you know this? Do you know Sanjay Patel? I'm like, yeah.
Which one?
Which one are you talking about? And they're like,
Like, what do you want me to
Doctor
do?
Sanjay Patel. I'm like, man, I know about 15 of them. So which one are you talking? They're like, I don't know. And yeah, it's a whole thing. So
Literally, everybody will ask you, like, "Oh, do you know this person?"
Yeah.
Like, just because it's like, okay, people don't ask me if I know somebody just because their last name is the same, which great, and now my last name is Patel. But when my last name was Martin, people didn't just come up to me and be like, "Oh, do you know this and this and this person?" No, like people just assume that all Patels are related. That's like our video that we made when we were at Garba. Like, are all Patels related?
So
Remember?
yeah, that video. And then guess what?
Mm.
The population in Indiana is 6.8 million, right?
Yeah.
There are a total of 5 million Patels in the entire world. So
Only?
only
Wait, is that a lot?
Hallie, 5 the entire state of Indiana could fill up with just Patels. Okay, that is so many people.
Okay.
So that's a lot of Patels out there.
Okay.
So that's
now
probably
like
why.
you're saying it. Now I'm
5
getting it.
million
5 million's a
people.
lot. 5 million's a lot of people.
That's insane.
It's a big number. Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy.
In my head, I'm just thinking like, oh, there's not that many. Like 5 million. Like, what's another common like white name? Smith. How many Smiths are there? Can you look that up?
Yeah, I can look up how many myths are in there. There's unknown number.
Oh,
In 2010 was the
Unknown.
last time, and in the United States there was 2.4 million.
let's double that to like. Wait, why is my
like 5
almo-
million. Double is 5 million.
Yeah, it
dollars.
is.
Oh my goodness gracious. Hallie's having some struggling today, but that's okay.
I need more caffeine, dude.
We're gonna
I'm
go
like
get some coffee after this.
Oh, we definitely should. But I was just thinking too, along the lines of this, people have told me that I have an act like a Midwest accent,
I can
like
see
a
that.
southern-ish, kind of slightly southern accent.
Sometimes you get your little Tennessee accent out. I don't know why.
Tennessee.
Yeah, you got that
What?
Tennessee
I don't
accent.
have any friends or family from Tennessee.
You got a little bit. You got a little bit something there.
Sometimes I will say it does slip. Like words that I say come out more southern than I mean. But honestly, guys, like my family has very, this is going to sound really controversial. My family has very southern roots, like in Kentucky and
I knew I married a colonizer.
See, there we go. There we have it. See, like I didn't even want to say it because I knew that that's what you're going to say. And people in the comments, don't come for me, okay? My family has moved. Like I've lived here my whole life. My parents, my grandparents, but like I'm just going to stop talking.
Yeah.
I'm stopping right there. But like my mom's side of the family primarily is from Tennessee. No, God, Tennessee. You got Tennessee on my mind. Kentucky. Mother loving Kentucky.
Well, that's pretty south.
I know, but it's not Tennessee. Like you said Tennessee, and I don't have any. Actually, that's a lie. I have family that has moved to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of affordable.
Gosh.
So that is why. However, I do have some hick in my family. All right. So I will say sometimes that slips out. And I don't, like, I'll notice it and I'll be like, oh, that sounded Southern. But like, I just kind of grew up, even though people in my family have lived here, they still carry that a little bit of an accent from previous. Yeah.
To close out this whole Indiana talk, I just want to say that we had pretty similar upbringings when it comes to Indianians.
And
I think it's because of that, we have a lot of similarities because we grew up in Indiana.
Yes.
But there were some very significant differences in terms of me growing up here and Hallie growing up here. Hopefully you got the details of that. All right. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of it. Do you have any closing statements, Hallie?
Well, there are just a few things that Indiana has that I want to flex on. First off, I don't think we're called Indianians. We're just mainly called Hoosiers. Hoosiers. Oh my God. We didn't go to IU, but that's what Indiana University. All right. So first things first, what does Indiana have? The Indy 500. What is that, you might ask? We have a really big track in Speedway, Indiana, where cars drive around it.
In a circle.
And people sit and watch and go absolutely crazy, berserk. I mean, if you haven't been,
it's
honestly,
actually really cool.
It's really cool. We like going. We've gone the last couple of years, and it's been a really great time. We do have that, but if you tell somebody who's like not from here, they're like, literally, why would you go to that?
Yeah.
We got 2 Big Ten schools right here in Indiana. We got IU, Indiana University, and we got Purdue University.
Boiler up.
Woo-woo! We got the Colts, but they kind of suck, so we're not going to talk about them.
They suck so bad.
We got Indiana in the national... What the fuck am I trying to say? Indiana is home to 90 historic covered bridges.
Wow.
I don't care about that.
Cool.
But I wanted to share that. We got Indiana Dunes, which I've never been, so I don't really know much about it.
You should go.
It's by Lake Michigan. I know that. So if you're in Michigan, you can probably go as well. Guys, we got corn.
Okay.
We literally have cornfields behind our house.
What we're known for.
We got some famous people from here. James Dean, the iconic actor, and Michael Jackson, the king of pop, was born in Gary, Indiana. Now, I would not recommend going to Gary, Indiana.
Don't go there.
Don't go there. It's close to Illinois. Do not go. Got Notre Dame. It's one of the most famous universities in the U.S., and they're really good at football. Fun fact. I don't even know if I've told you this. I've met the previous Notre Dame football coach.
Wow.
Yeah,
you're so
big
cool,
flex.
Hallie.
But I was like a little girl, and I didn't know who he was. He was driving around on Charlie Weiss, if anybody cares. But he was driving around, and he was like, hey, you want a picture with me? And I was like, I literally said no. Like, I don't know who you are. And my parents were like, go take a picture with him, Hallie. Ha, 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 ha. Like, trying to nervously laugh and, like, cover up that I didn't know. Like, why would I know who he was? I was, like, 6 years old.
Yeah.
Next, we've got the official state pie of Indiana. Sugar cream pie.
Wow. I've never had sugar cream pie.
Really?
Nope.
It's good.
I don't ever plan on having it. Guys, I'm done. That's enough. We're
the crossroads of America.
Care about any of this stuff. We're going to question of the week now. All right, Hallie. We have one question that was sent in by Jen Patel. Thank you for sending this question in.
This whole episode is me trying to convince us that we love it here.
What is on your bucket list, both of you individually and as a married couple? That's a good question.
On our bucket list?
Yeah, what's on our bucket list?
Well, you got to have a sugar cream pie now.
My bucket list item is skydiving. I would love to skydive at some point in my life. Married together, what's something together that we want to do?
Move to a city.
Move to a different state. Move to a big city. That'd be fantastic. That's a good bucket list.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Okay. What's something on your bucket list?
I don't really have any
You don't
other
have
one.
anything on your bucket list. You don't have anything that you really want to do.
Move.
No. I'm talking about something that you...
Be my own boss.
You don't want like your own coffee company. Like you don't want your own
chai company.
Come on. Come on.
But like doable? Is that really doable?
Something on your bucket list.
I mean, something. Okay, is this like a dream bucket list?
Yes. That's
okay.
what a bucket list is.
No, but like bucket list has intents of like
Yes.
crossing it off.
You're going to cross it off.
I would love to have a chai shop called Half Past Chai.
That'd be fantastic.
That's like my dream.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That and to just continue our entrepreneurial endeavors and just do our thing, live a good life. I mean, like, I don't have like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Like,
I have all those things.
like I want to live somewhere different with you. Yeah. But that's like a together thing.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know. So many of my plans involve you. Like to me, my mindset is us. It's not me.
Don't make me look bad now.
I'm just saying, like,
You should go skydiving.
I'll watch on my bucket list, watch Suketu go skydiving.
Perfect. Guys, thank you all so much for sticking around till the end. Half Past Crew, we love you. We thank you for being here and joining this community. You can also join on Discord. We have a Discord channel. Guess what? We will see you all Monday at Half Past Ja.
I do have a real question.
What's your question?
Is Monday at 7 a.m. still a good time to post?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If you made it this far, might as well tell us. But
what day?
I feel like it's like a Monday. Like
Monday for sure. But time?
I feel like 5 a.m.
No.
10
Like, is
p.m.?
7? Well, I don't know. It's just so many
12?
people post videos because, like, Monday at 7 a.m., people can really just listen if they're, like,
They
going
can't
to work.
watch, right?
Yeah, they can't really watch because they've got
Interesting.
class, they've got work. Like,
If you
they're
think there's
driving.
a better time, let us know.
yeah. I've been wondering that for a long time.
I'm going to dance now.
I don't know. I've just been wondering. Also, yeah, thanks for sticking with us this episode, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our differences that we have and talking about them. And also, I just tried to convince myself that I love living here the whole time. I love you.